That's not it. Damn it.
Hello, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. Tonight is part 1 of a 2-shot adventure using Against the Darkmaster. It's very dramatic. I paused before I said it, so I didn't get all the words in the wrong order, because I'm actually very excited to dive into this. This is heavy metal meets pulpy high fantasy adventure. I've written my own adventure for my would-be victims here tonight. Can they vanquish my Dark Master, or will they fall under his corruption? We shall find out. We shall see. But before we do that, let's go around and say hello to everyone and see how everyone is doing. And let's go clockwise around my screen. Ooh, this way, I guess, with my little mirror reverse. And let's go to the wonderful Banjula. Hi, Angie. How are you doing today? And who will you be playing?
Hello. Hi, I'm Banjula Angie. I am doing wonderful. Thank you, dear GM, sorry. I'm going to be playing Deirdre. She is an animist. I can English well. So basically, she's kind of like the equivalent of a druid. She is a shape changer with an ancient heirloom and exceptional training.
I am very excited to find out more about this heirloom and this exceptional training. Speaking of exceptional, though, welcome to Humbledore 6. Hi, Alison. How you doing?
Flatter me. I'm good. I'm playing. Let me just have a look because the name is very strange. Mornian the Fair. She is a mage of the High Courts, but kind of shunned by them for her strange circumstances around her birth. She is determined to get to the root of this Dark Master and see exactly what power they've been hiding. Very fun.
What's this? A power grab? Let's see how that goes. And my GM, I don't think I've ever DM'd for you before, have I, Hollow? Oh, actually a little bit for Lost Girls, but not in a full fantasy game. The wonderful Hollow, our DM for Unhallowed Metropolis. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Looking forward to playing this game. It should be a blast. And I am playing the Black Knight Emmerich Kane, who is a warrior in vocation, who once was a servant of the Dark Lord themselves, but has had a change of heart.
I've been promised top-notch fancy edgelord. Is that what I'm getting tonight?
You're getting fantasy edgelord. I'm going back to the 90s for this.
Whew, I am about it. Always a wonder in any setting. Welcome to Shakespeare. And who are you playing tonight, friend?
Hi, I am playing Beldam Shine the Oak, who is basically a feral elf child who is out to seek revenge for her home and people being decimated by this stupid Darkmaster. She's very young and inexperienced, but she's really good at hiding and shooting things and really just wants to spill some blood.
I love a bit of blood spillage, but perhaps it will be yours. Bom, bom, bom.
Don't hurt
I've
the child.
had a lot of caffeine today. I'm very sorry. Always a delight to play with. Welcome, F91 Vanguard even, aka Dan.
Hey, that's me. So yeah,
That is
I will be playing Francis, the Dusk Elf. I haven't got my glasses on, forgive me. He is a warrior, much like the Black Knight down there. However, he's been a hero for most of his life and will continue to slay evil as he goes.
That's the kind of hero that we all want. Not sure if it's the one we deserve, however. Speaking of heroes, I'm going to hand over to Past Me to tell you about our wonderful sponsors here on Encounter Roleplay. Before we begin today's show, I would like to take some time to remind you about our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds, a virtual tabletop of choice. All of the beautiful maps and roles you see tonight are done using Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get all of your miniatures from Wayland Games. Go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself a huge range of D&D, Warhammer and 40k minis for up to 20% off regular retail price. And Tabletop Loot, who sell incredible dice. Go and check them out at tabletoploot.com. Well, in the time we were gone, Allison has decided that we need to rip her spine out and beat her with it.
Dark Metal
Because
Fantasy
that
for
is
the
how
win.
this Monday is going. We are up to 11 retweets on our Tabletop Loot giveaway. Don't forget to check out Tabletop Loot Fantasy Grounds and Whaling Games, and also Against the Darkmaster, which is fully funded, but I am sure they have some insane stretch goals coming up, and we highly recommend you check out this game because we've been enjoying taking a look at it, and now we get to play it for the first time. Is everybody ready? Is everyone feeling good? Everyone got a drink? Snacks?
Hmm?
Perfect.
Yes.
Then let our adventure begin. The jungle air is thick. It's soupy. It's vaguely pea green almost, and it's full of fragrant florals which choke and cloy at the back of your throat and up your nose. Your eyes are beginning to water, but it's barely noticeable with the sweat that clings to your skin. It's darker here than it had been a few moments ago. You step carefully over thick vine and through gross underbrush. Looking up towards the canopy is nothing but dark, dappled green. But you have something to do. You have someone to find. Who leads this wander into the jungle?
Probably me. Since I'm most attuned to nature. I'll take charge.
Okay, tell me, has Deidre ever been in this jungle before?
Probably not. Just because she's only just recently left her teachers essentially. So no, she's probably never been here.
And as you step through this strange, thick terrain, I would like you to use, I'm going to say probably your Wander skill to see how easy your traverse is.
I believe there's a 106.
Okay, so the way rolling works in this game, for everyone tuning in, because I don't believe a lot of people have seen it, is you roll a d100 and you add a modifier to it. There are exploding dice options, which is called open-ended rolling, but Angie hasn't triggered that to happen. So yes, a 106. You are confident even on this unfamiliar earth, and you feel the mud begin to slide as you step your foot down over a particularly thorny branch and catch yourself quite easily. You can see there is a path here, but it's old and it's hidden and overgrown. But what are you wearing? What do you have with you? Before I say what you have with you, what do you have with you?
It's mostly just like my quarterstaff, and I'm wearing just a simple tunic. I've got like a dagger for, assorted purposes. But I'm traveling pretty light.
Okay, so yeah, as you plant that quarterstaff down into the mud, you can find a way through, and you can help your companions as they follow. Who follows through the jungle?
Francis definitely would. He's a hero, he has to.
And what is Francis doing as he wanders?
Francis will be he'll be looking around for any creatures that'll be wandering around that could possibly pose a threat to them, and working with his sword out, pointing it at random bushes.
Okay, I would like you to make a perception roll, please.
Let's have a look. Oh no, I don't think I did it right.
So it's /die, D-I-E, space, and then whatever you're rolling. Alternatively, you can grab the 2d10 and throw them into that little chat box, and then do the adds.
There we go. 119.
119. You look around for beast and foe, wary of the deep jungle, confident in your ability to deal with any threats that it hides. And you notice the sleek body of the snake that glides through the mud of the boggy ground and easily push it aside and out of your path. But there's something out there. You haven't seen it yet. You can't place where it is right now, but it's somewhere up in those branches, up in that dense canopy. And Allison, what is your character doing in this moment?
Mornian the Fair is obviously staying behind this adventuring hero who is conveniently cutting away all the branches and vines in the path. And obviously she's staying in between the other warrior in case anything comes from behind as well. She's funding this expedition. She needs to be protected. But otherwise she's got her candle, her oil lamp lit and is lighting the middle way. Occasionally shining around, see if there's anything reflecting back in the dark.
And you see the glint of eyes in this growing darkness as your oil lamp catches them, bulbous eyes shining out of the mud. A large toad or frog or something.
She tries to think whether it's poisonous or not before moving on.
Okay, so that'll be a nature roll, please.
Sure.
And as you do that, Hollow, what is Emmerich Kane doing at the rear of this party? You're muted, friend.
Emmerich.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We got
Emmerich
Emmerich and then
It's
nothing.
He's a
silent
Pokemon.
in the rear
Emmerich.
of the party. Allison, how did you do on that roll?
That's plus 20 to that, so it's 108 on the nature.
Okay. As you look down at this large toad, you do recognize it from one of your many books. It has pustules on its back, blistering yellow ones. And you know that if you are to harvest the pus that these secrete, that they can make a very potent poison indeed. However, catching them is often remarked as difficult.
It's not worth our time. We have our energy needs to be spent elsewhere. Don't touch them. If you don't step on them, you might get a bit of an itchy foot. I say to the man behind me.
Can the man be heard?
The man can.
Yes.
The man can.
The man is happy with this. This is my character isn't called the man. So
Yes, now. This is a new canon. Right now, Emmerich is known as the man.
The man.
I'm known as
Yep.
the man in some schools. Okay, so Emmerich is stood behind, sort of hand on the side of his arming sword, great axe slung at his back, strapped down as he looks around and nods. Then we should tread carefully here. We don't wish to get into combat in these woods, especially with that one. He says, gesturing to the heroic gentleman in the front, pointing his sword at every bush.
Perhaps you could show him how to sheathe his weapon, Sir Emmerich.
I believe greater people have tried, and no one can make that one sheath their weapon.
And in this moment, there is a rustle. Something moves close by, about 3 or 4 feet above you in the tree. Something large. And the air, you notice that thick soup is... It has a purple hue running through it, and almost mystic smoke that kind of seeps through the smog. And it's darker still. You didn't notice it growing so dark. It was getting darker, but now it's dark, and the light emanating from that lamp reaches only 5 or so feet in front of you. not far enough to light more than where you were stepping as you lead the way, Deidre. Is it Deidre or Deidre?
Deidre.
Angie. Deidre? Sorry, my bad. Okay, so yeah, you can literally just see like a step or two in front of you now.
Mm-hmm.
And Shakes. It is dark in your jungle. And there are people moving through. More people. More of them. What is your character doing?
Beldam has been probably following them for a good 10 to 15 minutes now, just up in the trees, kind of taking long way rounds occasionally, maybe crossing over their path, but just keeping an eye and trying to figure out if these are the same sorts of people that put her, her land to the sword and flame, or if they're just people that don't really matter. She has one mind and one purpose, and if they don't matter, then she'll move on. But how does Emmerich look? Like, does he look annoyingly familiar? Because I think that's why she's following them, to be like, is it normally there are more of you, but there's only one of you. Are you one of them? So she's just kind of like, Tarzaning through the trees, trying to figure this out before she tries to kill anyone.
I would like you to make an acrobatics skill check as you leap from tree to tree, hurrying after this group. The man is wearing their armor. He is in that dark armor. And you leap. And you nearly miss the vine as your hand reaches out, but the second hand hurriedly catches up and does grip onto it. And you swing, and this is what causes that shaking bustle so close to their heads. And you peer out of the darkness. I'd like you to make a stealth roll, please.
Okay. Ooh, this is what I'm good at. Sort of good at.
Sort of good at. I like it. And now it is dark in the jungle. And you do not know exactly where you are, only that you are walking in the right direction. You're certain of that much. What do you all do?
Deirdre?
Yes?
Do you think it might be prudent for us to go to sleep or find somewhere to rest? I don't think we'll get much further today. It's very dark.
Sure, we can find a place to stop. I don't mind. What about the rest of you?
I could go for longer, but if we need rest, we need rest. What of you, hero? Are you tiring yet of pointing at bushes?
Francis ignores this man's words as he peers his eyes around at the jungle and tries to decide whether the light will actually reach this far in, since it's thick jungle and they seem to be getting further in and it's getting darker. So will it be worthwhile resting for light?
Okay, so make, I'm going to call this a nature skill, unless you would like to suggest something else. Wander would also be applicable.
I can use Wander.
Okay.
So, use dash. Oh boy, that's a total of 39.
You're not sure if this gloom is natural or not. You're not sure how long it lasts, or if this world will ever grow any lighter. There is a great evil in the land, after all. And it's this thought of evil that distracts you from your previous thought, and you contemplate all the ways that you might kill the Darkmaster.
Does the gloom appear to be burnt away if I put the light near it? Does it seem to sort of evaporate away, or does it sort of pervade even still?
That smog kind of still hangs and reflects some of that light back to you. The light doesn't cut through in a straight beam or anything, more like you're walking through this cloud. It does illuminate, but not for a great distance.
And the flame doesn't seem to burn this mist, this fog or whatever away.
The flame does not appear to have any effect on the fog.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, if we're all okay with resting, I think it might be a good idea. We've been traveling all day through this wretched jungle, and I'm getting a bit sweaty. So,
All right. I guess I will try to find us a place to rest for the night.
Sounds
So
like a plan.
is that like a wandering nature perception?
I'm gonna call this a wonder check, but you can also make a perception check as you, I imagine, would still be looking for dangers with this darkness closing in on you. And anyone can make that check if you would like.
I'll make a perception check as
Ooh!
well.
I have triggered the thing.
Oh,
Okay, you rolled a 3. So, Angie.
Minus 76. Oh.
Okay, so that takes
oh.
right.
So
Minus
minus
76
76 plus 40 is minus
minus
36.
36. Right.
That's my
Okay, so
wonder.
was that your wonder?
Yeah.
All right.
This is my perception. Nice.
Cool. All right, Dan. Your hero is alerted to it. That rustle in the bushes again. It's close. Whatever that creature is, it's nearby, not far from you, watching you. It seems to be watching the dark man at the back with particular interest. You can see the whites of its eyes, but that's about all you can make out in this dense, thick brush above you. Angie, Deidre trips and slides into the mud head first, tumbling into the brush and out of sight of that pool of light emanating from the lantern carried by your companions.
I take it you found somewhere soft. I call out into the darkness.
Yeah, I will. I walk over to the figure of Deirdre who has taken a tumble and sort of try and find them and offer them a hand up.
Thank you. That was embarrassing.
If you find there's a good site to camp, it will be less embarrassing. Try not to tumble too hard. You may sprain something.
I shall try.
Deidre, all up the side of your face now is this thick clay, boggy mud, which smells of rotting and decomposition, and it clings to your clothes all down that one side. You're glad you didn't hit anything hard, but the way this sticks to you is almost like tar. If you try and remove it, it just smears.
Well, that's just going to stay there for a bit. Ugh.
Francis is going to wander over to Emmerich.
He dreads it.
I don't know if you've noticed, but we're being followed.
Are we? Whom by?
Something in the trees. I could take a shot if you like.
Best not to shoot outright. In case it's more of them than one. Have you tried calling out to them? You are, after all, a great known hero.
Well, I find that is incredibly true. I don't think monsters would reply to it.
Well, maybe they will quake in fear and run at your name.
Most do.
The lantern's light grows dimmer, particularly as you've moved away from it to assist Deirdre in her trip. And Allison, you find yourself alone in the jungle.
Oh dear.
You know your companions are nearby, but you can't quite make out where. And as you turn around, there's something disorientating about this space. And your foot hooks into one of those vines. You manage to catch yourself before you trip, but you stumble forwards. You think it's forwards. Maybe it's it's hard to tell. And as you look around, you feel watched. You feel eyes.
All right. Calm, Morian, calm. Where are the Where are the footsteps heading to? She looks around to see where the foot trail is.
Okay, so this will be a perception roll. I'm not going to cast it as tracking, as immediately you have to look to see these things.
Okay, tracking. That's fine. Tracking. Has that got its own thing, or is it just perception?
Just roll perception for me.
That's fine. That's plus 25 to that. So this plus 25.
Oh, I apologize. I think it's called hunting.
Oh, hunting. That's a plus 20 to hunting. So 48, I believe.
Okay. You look down in the mud, and as you search for footprints, for tracks, for a way to find your party, you make your own steps in the mud. And you wander. And you hear a splash, something moving, and a deep rivet somewhere in the dark. The frog lurches nearby. But then the trees rustle again. And you're alone in the woods.
All right. Okay. Well, they can't have gone very far. Sir Deirdre? Well, Lady Deirdre? Sir Enric? Francis?
You call out. It's like the smog is just muffling everything, absorbing the sound. And as you breathe in to call out a little louder, that perfume hits you in the back of the throat, and you nearly choke.
Dreadful. I keep a spell. I keep a spell of fire close to my sort of lips, and just begin to I just begin to listen out for anything and just keep guard. I'm not going to, like, obviously I'm a source of light, so they will be able to see me even if I can't see them. Hopefully.
A beacon in the dark jungle. Emmerich, Francis, Deidre, you notice now one of your party is missing. She couldn't be that far away, but you look around and you cannot immediately see her.
Yeah, I think Emmerich will begin to worry at this, and will look around at the rest. Do either of you know we're more nice?
A very quick mechanical question. Does the mist interrupt my keen senses as a dusk elf?
Same.
Okay, why don't you read me what Keen Senses does, if you don't mind.
Elves' superior senses grant them a special +10 bonus to perception skill. Additionally, they can see in moonlight or starlight as if it were day, and up to 30 meters in dim light.
This will hamper your ability to see in dim light. This is nearly darkness. But I will say you can keep your perception bonus as your kin bonus.
In that case,
Can I?
Go ahead, Jax.
Go ahead. Can I see the light?
Make a perception roll for me.
All right. What's my perception? Wrong box. There we go. $137.
You watch the companions trying to figure out what they are up to if they are with him, and you notice the one trip. You notice the other two follow. You notice the one left alone. And you watch her, she turns with the lamplight, and then all you can kind of see is that dim glow, almost as if a torch is kind of shrouded with a thick fabric over it. You can see the dim glow of it, but no specific outlines within.
I'm going to take one of my sling pellets and try and throw it between them so that maybe the three party members would go, oh, it's coming from over there, and we'll head in that direction.
Kind of like a signaling alert?
Yeah, they're no use to me if they separate, because I'm trying to figure out what they're doing here. And if they're all worried about someone, then they're not going to be talking about what they're here for.
If you could roll it as if you were making an attack, so a ranged attack roll, please.
Okay. So
I'm
is
really
that just...
looking for accuracy in this. It'll be
This is what you
so
make.
sling.
Right. Do I just roll my ranged plus a d100 then?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's that,
I'm
Alison?
waiting for you to hit me in the temple and knock me out with my stupidly low HP in defense.
I'm throwing it. I'm not using the sling. I'm throwing a pebble, essentially.
Don't underestimate how weak
Okay.
I am. Okay.
Fair enough. Okay.
Don't underestimate my frailness.
That's 143.
Yeah, easily you can kind of control this. It's a small, gentle throw, and you hear the plop of something falling from the canopy and hitting just behind you, Emmerich.
I immediately turn and look in the direction of the plop.
All right, I'm gonna count this as a help action from our friend in the tree, and so you can make a perception, and you can add, I believe it's a +10, with your friend's help to your roll.
Very nice. 100 plus a mighty 35 with that +10.
Beldam has no friends.
So
All their
that's
friends are dead.
It's a 5.
Oh no!
Okay,
you have to
so
re-roll
you
on a
need to
5?
roll again.
Yep,
Because you rolled a
certainly
5.
can. Is that with the mod?
Ignore the mod for now.
A mighty 45.
Alright, so that brings you down to a -40. We add +35, so you're at -5. You look around, and you're just acutely aware of how close everything feels. The mud that pulls at your boots, the trees, so many things are moving. Flies, snakes, frogs, you've seen those as something larger, something in the trees. Something is trying to separate you. The paranoia begins to kick in.
Whatever you are, tree creature, give back our companion, or so be it, I will behead you.
You can't speak to trees that way.
I can speak to trees however I like, those deceptive creatures.
And
you
just
get
like
more flies with honey.
just filtering down from the canopy, you just hear a small voice go, "You don't look like you can climb." And I will move!
And truth-speaking trees are very irritating. Yet, we find ourselves separated from our companion. There was a plopping behind me. Can you see anything from it? With your sharper eyes, hero and guide.
Of course I can. And then he quickly looks
I-
around to make sure he can see.
I might, maybe. Do we roll perceptions?
Yes, please.
Yeah, and in the darkness, I'm just like, we're never going to get to the Dark Master if we can't even find each other. This is ridiculous.
Oof. I'm glad you rolled higher than me.
Okay, let me take a look at these rolls. So, Hollow, you didn't roll, right? You're just relying on your two friends? Okay. So you look out in the darkness, trying to gauge what is going on, and again, Dan, Francis sees that shape up in the trees, that familiar form. That's where the voices come from, not some talking tree. It's humanoid.
It's
Perhaps-
short.
A very large monkey. A monkey that talks. You've had such tales of strange things in the jungle, and you have an illustrious hero moment where you think of all the great deeds you can do in a jungle against these beasts. But you're very aware of where Shakespeare's character is in this moment, and you think you can just make out maybe somewhere that's slightly lighter in the distance. Maybe that's the lamp. And it's in a western direction. You had been heading north, and it appears the light is to now the west of you, to the side. And Angie, Deirdre, you are aware of all the creatures that are now around you. The ones that slither, the ones that hop, the ones that climb, the ones that buzz in your ears. And that dark smog. Dark, thick smog. You are aware just about of the creature up the tree, much larger than the others. Nature is unsettled here. That's something you know in your gut.
Right, well, if everybody would like to hold hands, touch shoulders, whatever you guys want to do, so we don't lose each other again, I know where she is.
Theodra instantly grabs onto both hands of both the warriors.
Like a child at Disneyland. Swing me!
Yes!
And now skip through the forest.
Very well. Then we find our other companion and we get out of here and get to our task. The quicker we
How do I
find him, the
trees?
better. I hate trees. That's why we
They
burned
hate
down
you.
the forest once.
This isn't a tree that's actually talking though. There's some creature there. I'm not sure what they are, but they're sentient. They talk. Hello, friend.
Not your friend.
You could
Sounds
be.
like a large squirrel. I fought them
Francis is
to
going
death.
to start leading
Is
them
there
towards our
anything in the
lost
trees
companion.
I can drop on Endrick? Like a frog, or like turn up a leaf?
There
and
are
just drop
these
water on him?
large seed pods that grow in these trees, kind of the size like a pomegranate.
I
so
want
you
to
can-
drop one on him.
Okay, so make me another attack roll with this for accuracy. And
Okay.
how are we saying your name again, Allison? I apologize, I'm terrible at names.
Mornine. Or
Mornine.
Mornian. It's either Mornine or Mornian. It's
How
fine.
would you like it said?
Mornian sounds fancier.
Mornian. Alright.
Mornian.
Less
Oh,
German
Mornian.
too.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a
Mhm.
whisper. Hello. What are you doing here? Where have you come from, friend?
Why, hello. Would you perhaps mean to show yourself? I don't
no,
find
we can't do that.
We. There's a we.
Oh yes. There's a lot of us here.
How many? How many are here?
As many as she needs.
And who are you referring to? If you don't mind. Who is
If
she?
you don't know, perhaps you don't deserve to meet her.
Do you mean the lost one? I really hope you do.
No, I wouldn't call her that. And there's a chorus of giggles around you. And you are aware that yes, there are many voices around you now.
Okay. And the lady's name that we're trying to find, it's like, it begins with an R and I can't find it.
Riazra.
Riazra. Do you mean to talk about the lady Riazra?
Yes, the Lady Riaz.
Why, we are looking for her. If that's alright with all of you.
Oh, this will be fun.
Oh yes, your jungle is most fun.
Do you have gifts? She'll need gifts.
Oh, what kind of things does she like?
She likes the things that people don't like to give.
Right. Well, I better get to the rest of my companions and we shall talk about these gifts. Have you seen them? Are they nearby?
No, they're far away now. You've wandered
Yeah.
a long way.
Apparently so. Apparently so.
We could take you back to them.
That would be very kind of you.
No, we're not kind. We like gifts too.
And the same type as your mistress? Or your friend? The ones that people don't like to give?
Sometimes. People don't like to give us things. Is that the same?
I don't think it is. Are you hungry?
We're always hungry. And
And
it's
I'll,
multiple voices that answer in that moment.
Yeah, I carefully take out some rations and I just toss them into the darkness.
And there's a sound of many wings that descend in the dark, and you see kind of flashes of shapes just beyond where you've thrown that ration.
I don't mind giving you more, but I would like to get back to my companions, please.
Please?
Yes, manners don't cost a thing.
Manners are very expensive.
Only to people who aren't taught them properly.
Do you think we lack in manners?
Not at all.
Then you shall be our companion for dinner.
As long as I'm not actually dinner.
And you see before you an outline, a silhouette that blooms in purple. A great tree amongst the other trees. Its form is gnarled and twisting. Shakes, Dan, Angie, Hollow, all of your characters hear a sudden rush in the darkness, almost like a swarm of birds flies through past you on a wind, although the shapes are hard to make out if you do catch any of them in your perception. Shakes. Elam is familiar with these things. They're like piranhas, only they do not live in the river. What have you called these creatures?
Probably just teeth. Beldam's people are not really descriptive or florid or elvish in any real, classical way. If it has teeth, they'll probably call it teeth. If it's many things, then yeah, definitely teeth. Maybe flying teeth if you're making a description that has more than one predator in it. But yeah, teeth.
A flight of teeth cascade past you and down and away in the direction of that wanderer that's lost. You've seen this happen before when something sick has stumbled into the bog. Something they're too impatient to wait to die. It's a descent of teeth. They mean to feast. There have been more of them since what happened. Since he came here with his men. So many teeth in the dark.
Beldam, holding, the biggest rotten fruit she could find, kind of stops, realizes what's about to happen, toss it away, and will just drop down from the trees in front of the three she's been following, and will just point and be like, "Your friend is gonna get ate." Move!
What is that?
Food. She's food.
She's not food, I assure you of that.
And you just see, Beldam looks to be about, 15. So she's just stood there, tiny, wrapped in coarse furs and what looks like a lot of cobweb, weirdly, and is just staring at you like, "Your friend is food here. Now,
You know these
you want to
jungle,
stop
young
being
child.
food?"
She may be eaten by the local fauna, so we should probably maybe go find her and prevent that.
Lead the way,
This
small.
pretty lady is smart. You're not smart. I don't like you.
Very well, child. I'm glad you can speak. It's rare
I'm
of one
probably
your age.
older than you.
At least 10.
Murderer.
Murderer. Yes.
I'm 233.
Hey, we can argue
murderer.
later. We need to go. We need to go.
Very well, Squirrel. Lead the way.
And Beldam will just turn and head towards where the teeth were flying.
Okay, so Beldam, I would like you to make the wonder check. And if any of your companions would like to assist, they also need to roll a wonder check. And on a success, you add 10 to your roll.
Okay.
I think whilst we're wandering forwards, I'm going to unclip my great axe and get that ready as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that's a 65 then, if I'm adding 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It's tricky, even for you. It's darker here than it's ever been before, aside from the nighttime, but you sleep in the nighttime. Mostly,
I
or
don't
you climb
sleep.
to the top of the canopy. rest in the nighttime. Fucking elves. Climb to the top of the canopy and watch the stars. You stay away from the floor in the nighttime because that is when everything comes to feast. You make your way through and you feel the snag of tree against your cobwebbed clothing. And it's difficult going for your companions to follow, but you do tread through, and then you two see it, this great tree with its purple illumination, and the silhouetted figure of your friend disappearing into a dark opening in its trunk.
Oh, that's probably not good.
Who goes into a tree? You go up trees. What? No.
I mean, if
Let
you
me
have the
find
trees
our way
twisted,
in.
maybe.
Hello,
Sorry, but-
friends.
Not your
A
friend.
chorus of voices call to you from the dark.
Definitely hiding behind the Dark Knight.
Yeah, axe out, just looking into them, just like, where have you
Beldam's
placed
just
them, our
glaring at
companion?
Edric.
Your companion accepted an invitation.
I see. And what is this invitation?
Manners. Manners cost
Man-
nothing, but can be very expensive.
And what will it cost to get our companion back unharmed?
Will you give us a gift?
I hate giving gifts. But if to gain our companion back, then yes.
You like her?
I like no one.
Then why do you care?
Finding useful.
I don't, but we have need of them.
I think I can tell you.
What was that other friend? Your voice is lost in the darkness.
He'll move his shoulder slightly.
What? I don't know what's going on.
You're lagging a tiny bit, Angie and Meta. Is what's happening.
Yay!
You're back now. What did you say?
It was. She was like,
I think he finds her useful.
Yes.
Yeah, useful stuff. That's all they care about. Murderer.
That's all he cares about.
What do you care about? What will you give
I-
us? And you feel something pull on your hair very slightly as if lifting it, as if you're being inspected.
I could. I don't. Are any of you sick or hurt?
She wears a cloak about her head. Have you seen her cloak? Her cloak, her cloak. And there's a chorus now discussing your hair. You feel small clawed feet digging into your shoulders, although as you look, it always seems they're just out of your peripheral.
Do you want my hair? I can cut it off for you. I don't need it.
We'll take your hair. And there's a menacing kind of sound of small blade, small metal object, and you feel a soaring.
she's stocked still.
Yeah, I
And
hold
look
still.
at- Rolling the
Teeth are
axe in his
sharp.
hands anxiously. Trying not to just go back to his default way.
Beldam
like
is
your
looking
axe?
really
It
suspiciously at that
shines.
axe, like,
Shines in the dark. She sees it
does.
too.
Hmm.
She lives
Don't
in the
tell me to
forest. We've
give
seen
you
her
it.
before.
Who?
She told you the way.
Whom do you speak of?
Our friend. Our friend that lives in the trees.
He looks at the squirrel for that. Do they speak of you? Are you their friend, squirrel?
I don't have any friends. All my friends are dead. Killed by people like you, murderer.
They should have dodged better. No,
Oh,
Seems
she's
we
gonna
don't
kick
know
you
them.
in the shin!
that's fine. My
She's
my
not
armor's
wearing
fine
shoes,
for that.
it means nothing, but still.
Okay.
Tink.
Just tiny, like, rage-filled teenagers, like, nope.
Do you get this everywhere you go?
What, me?
Yes, you. Who else is getting kicked in the shit?
I'm
Still
getting kicked-
kicking.
Oh, I am. He says and kind of looks at that. I didn't realize.
Freeze.
I get this often.
Everyone,
Yes.
stupid hat.
I really hope we get our friend back.
Look, creatures who take things from us. We've given you hair. Give us back our companion. We don't need
She
to
gave
make
us
this
hair. She can come to dinner. You've given us
Oh, good.
nothing.
Oh, I am tempted
his
to
head,
give
he
you my
doesn't need it.
axe.
You'll give us your axe.
Perhaps. So, teeth gritted, just really trying not to right now.
And something buzzes past your ear. Something with wings. Something larger than a fly, that is for certain. Dan, what is
Yes.
Francis doing? As you see your companions twitch and move around in the dark, you see Deirdre's hair being sawn slowly off, although you can't make out the creatures that are doing it.
Francis will just be looking around, acting very calm and collected on the surface, as a hero would do. Inside, he's panicking to all hell. He has no idea what's going on right now.
And that's when you feel it, the weight of something stopping on your shoulder. Something that leans into your ear. Hello, friend.
Oh, hi there. What can I do for you? Thing. Invisible thing.
I'm not a thing. Are you a thing?
I'm more than a thing. I am the thing.
Oh god.
We like things. We like things with definite articles. Definite articles cannot be corrupted by magic. The king. That is absolute. Do you know the king?
I know of many kings.
Do you know the
Which one
lady?
do you speak of? Again, I know many ladies. They flock to me in droves. Which one particularly?
You're new to the jungle, aren't you, friend?
No.
You don't know how this works. You shine like he does in the dark.
Who
Your
does?
teeth are not in your mouth. And you feel something pull at the quiver on your back, at your backpack.
Do you mind? I might need those.
You won't need them. Trust us. And you feel more and more of these things descending. You feel a clawing as something's climbing up your cloak and up your back.
Say, Emmerich, what are we doing? Are we doing something soon, hopefully?
Soon, he says, and he's sick of these fucking things by now. And he's just gonna, as soon as he sees one kind of going for the axe, he's gonna go to cleave that thing in two.
Okay. So what we are going to do is we're going to go through the combat phases.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so the first stage is an assess, so you may all roll a perception. This is so that you can get an idea of what is going on. Because these creatures so far have been hard for you to see, this is why we're doing a perception. There's no kind of significant change to your whereabouts right now. You're still in this jungle area. You haven't moved, and the tree still glows in front of you. Alright, 96 for shakes.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Dan.
I'm
Roll
guessing
again,
I'm out
please.
of combat then, because I'm already inside the tree at this point, or whatever.
You've wandered inside the tree, but you can roll a perception to see if you can notice what is going on behind you, if you'd like.
Yep.
So do I roll perception as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think that is 35. Yeah.
Okay, so Dan,
Yes.
you look around, you feel these things clawing on you, trying to assess the situation, trying to figure out what is going on. You see Emmerich twist as he's about to raise his axe, as we know that's what he stated he's about to do. And then you slip. and you lay on your back in the dark, and you feel them crawl across your face, and they block your eyes. You are now prone in the dark. This is just going to be a result of this bumble for narrative reasons. As they kind of are going to get jump on you. And Allison, Moynihan, you are dimly aware of a conversation behind you, but the chatter around you is loud, and you're not sure if this is just more of them out in the dark talking to each other, or if it's your friends. Your gut says your friends are still behind you. You're not enchanted or any reason you are still under free will. But the other friends in the dark, these little voices are guiding you forwards. They're talking about the great feast that they will have.
On my turn, I'll begin asking questions. I want everyone else to go first.
Shakes. What did you roll, friend?
I rolled a 96. Yes, 96. Yes.
Okay, you are definitely aware there is a swarm of teeth around you, a flight of teeth. They dart and they are very quick, which makes them difficult to hit, to strike. But you can see them crawling over one of the companions down in the dark. And everyone else is aware of this too as they look down to varying degrees. But you know these creatures are going to be hard to strike because every time you seem to look eyes on one of them, it just moves. It's like a motion blur. Their exact shape is so hard to see.
Is the gift giving and such, is that something that I would know of? Is that like a common occurrence, or like? Because I imagine I would have heard if people are bargaining with the piranhas.
The teeth are sentient, and they have whims and wants, and they are known to steal things. You've not been aware of a swarm this big before, and this is curious behavior, but you know generally these things are deadly. Maybe they're just playing a game tonight. The forest is unhappy.
I'm keeping low to the ground.
Okay, so now we're going to get to the declaration phase. So each of you need to tell me what you would like to do on your turn. And what your target is. So let's start with you, Hollow, and then we'll hop around.
Yeah, so I think his action is quite simple. He is going to strike at these things, especially if one approaches. He's going to just swing and try and just bisect that thing straight out.
Okay.
And hopefully not punch my desk again doing it. But
Perfect. Dan, on this turn, we're going to consider you as having failed your assess check, so you won't have an action on this turn. And Angie, what would you like to do?
I'd like to unmute first. I've been looking through spells, but there are so many things because I'm just like, So I don't think that'll work for these guys. I think... Is there a chance that I can target them?
Yes, this is when you kind of declare, like, I'm going to do a spell and target this thing. And then we'll roll to see if you're successful.
I don't know if I should... I apologize for how long I'm making with these. I'm just trying to... Ooh,
okay,
no,
we can come back to you if you're not sure.
I'll do the Chant of Courage.
Okay.
That's what
Cool,
I'm
so you're
to
gonna do a spell?
Yes.
Cool.
And I'm targeting my allies and myself.
Okay. And Shakes, what are you doing? What is Beldam doing?
Beldam is kind of crouched to the ground, is looking between the person who's fallen over, the person who's swinging an axe, and someone else that is just kind of like, this isn't going to go well. There are far more of them than there are here. So Beldam is going to try and not grab one of them, but try and get the attention of one and just be like,
What price for safe passage?
Okay.
I don't have a lot of stuff, but what gift? I like gifts.
Awesome. And Allison, what is Mornian doing on her turn? I'm gonna just keep changing her name. I apologize.
She'll respond. It's fine. Call me the Fair. That'll work.
Fair.
the fair. She.
I'm great at fantasy names, everyone.
She'll be walking very, very slowly, very carefully, and talking to these creatures, asking them, how do they know? Is it Rizra? I could never say that name.
Riazra.
Riazra. Spelt it. So that she'll be asking about Riazra and where her companions are. Are they following close behind?
All right, so this brings us to the move and maneuver phase. Is anyone moving for their turn? Nope.
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes. So you're moving deeper into the tree?
Yeah.
Okay. So you wander down. At this point, I'll let you have your free action of talking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, your companions will come for dinner, we're sure. Our friends are asking.
Have they given the right gifts?
We don't know yet.
Well,
we're with you.
I don't want to go in alone without my friends. I think it would be quite rude of me to leave them behind. You understand? We are both individuals
We're
with good manners.
Now.
Well, yes, but friends should not split up from other friends, should they?
Don't you trust your new friends?
I can do a little bit, but I would still be more comfortable if we were all together.
Soon you'll be all together. Let us show you the wonders of our tree. And around you, you see small mushrooms and kind of like the rings of a tree. They're kind of slowly illuminating, but this is a hollowed out space around you. And as you step forward, there's kind of like a mushroom behind you, a mushroom next to you, and a mushroom in front. And as you step forward, one will kind of turn off, and then another further up will kind of turn on, as if the light is following you. And slowly there's a path that is curving upwards in this tree.
Okay. She'll be leaving she'll be basically breaking off bits of rations to leave at each toadstool as she passes to keep them happy.
Okay, so you're doing this as an offering. Okay, cool.
Yes.
And you'll hear that familiar flap of wings. It's kind of the hummingbird speed. It's kind of more of a buzz than a flutter. And the ration will be gone if you look back, and you'll see that glint of movement like a shadow in the dark, but never the fully formed shape.
Okay.
All right. And this brings us to the spell phase. So Angie, you will be going next with your spell.
Cool. So how do I do this?
Okay, so you need to make I think it's called spell lore roll.
Right.
We're learning together. Learning is fun when you do it with friends.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to be.
And this is
35.
what is called an improvised spell, I believe, because you haven't spent time concentrating on it, or it might be called an unprepared spell. So I think there is a modifier. I think it's -10. I'm just scrolling to see if I can find it. It's on the casting page. Casting spells. Unless this counts as an instantaneous spell.
I do not believe so. Duration is C.
So they are marked as instantaneous. So it's a concentration spell. So this is a -10 to your spell casting roll.
Okay, so it'll be the chanting then? I'm assuming?
I believe so.
Yeah,
we'll say that for now, and I will see if I can find confirmation.
Plus 25, because it's -10, so... Whew!
What did you roll, friend?
I got a 109.
109, so I was looking at the PDF. On a 109, if the spell does not require a save roll, it succeeds. If the spell requires a save roll, read the difficulty of the save.
It does not require a save roll. The area of effect is 3 meter radius. 3m radius, I'm assuming that's meter.
Yep.
And the caster and their allies within the area of effect gain a special +10 bonus to their save rolls against fear. Additionally, at the end of each round, they can make a save roll to shake off the effects of any fear and ability affecting them. So,
awesome. So everyone, bear this in mind. This will affect the will saving rolls if they occur.
She's a
Awesome.
little freaked out by these things, so she figured that made sense.
Okay, this brings us to the melee phase. Oh, sorry, the ranged phase. I don't believe anyone is making a ranged attack. And that will bring us to the melee phase. So, if you would like to make your swing, Hollow.
I certainly would, and I have a mighty plus 85 on this. So let's totally roll a
Just
1
roll
right
above
now.
a 5. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay, that's 182, but I can only hit 175 max with this weapon, apparently. So
And you also rolled a 97.
You
which
rolled
I
a
believe
97,
is
so
in the-
it's an open-ended, so roll again.
roll
But you've already
again.
said you can only roll a maximum of, you said 100
Yeah.
and something?
175. Yeah.
Alright, so let me scroll down to the
Maybe
combat
100.
table. See what you do.
But if not, I'll gain another 61 on that.
Alright. Creatures
Just in
table.
You add
Just
well.
in case.
Yeah, it's like the
Weapon.
opposite of the critical fail
the fumble.
thing.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
exploded.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, because for some reason I thought I remembered that still got subtracted, but it makes sense that it would get added.
Yeah,
I
it's
hit
an
really well. Oh
explosion.
no.
What are the descriptors on your axe, please?
Let me just take a look for you. So on my axe, which is a great axe plus 10, it is edged on the attack table.
Is
has
it a
improved
light,
critical.
medium, or heavy?
It is a heavy.
Okay, it's a heavy arm and it will be a critical. So you need to roll on the critical table.
Okay.
Scroll down a
I
little
have a
further.
feeling my attempt at diplomacy is going to fail.
So this is a cut critical.
Yes.
Okay.
So what do I need to roll for this critical table?
It's a D100. Oh wait, no, it's not. We get the number, I think, from the thing. Apologies, guys. First time rolling a critical. Can you double check what it says under the critical attack section, and I'll look at the tables. You rolled 100 and something, right?
Critical attacks.
Big.
Yes. So critical strikes.
So
5
this will be a
degrees of it.
lethal.
Oh, very nice. And modified by a plus 50.
18 critical cut. So, all right. So it's a plus 50. So roll a D100 and add that plus 50, I believe.
1d100 plus 50. Let's do this. So that is going to be 117.
117.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna say that this is actually gonna go further down the table as you
Okay.
collide with this tiny creature, and it is just split in two parts. And you catch a second on your way through that you weren't even entirely aware was there. It had been coming in from the dark, and as it's cleaved in two, it's a perfect bisection, and the two parts just flit through the dark and away. And then you hear the dull thuds as they hit the floor by your boots.
Cool. Yeah, I think he'll like sort of like turn his axe slightly to flick some of the blood away, and just kind of go, "Give them back, or I come for your tree." And that will be it.
Not our tree. Why would you do this? We have done nothing to you.
You've done
Murderer!
plenty.
Murderer! And the whole forest erupts, adopting the word that was thrown in your direction.
That's fine. And he takes it with relish. It's not the first time he's been called that. If anything, it feels like a familiar coat that he's slipping on.
And shakes. We will go to you with your other action.
Yep. So I've tried to just, like catching a moth. You're not holding it. You're just kind of like trying to guide it towards you without touching the thing, and just going,
What price? What gift? I don't have a lot, but I'm like gifts. Safe passage. We'll discuss him, but the other two, we would like to follow our friend. Yes, into your lovely tree. It's very nice, wonderful foliage.
Follow. Follow. Murder, murder, murder. The chanting begins at the other side of this clearing and drifts towards you, but you feel like you have the attention. What you hold, though, as it touches you, it's uncomfortable to the touch. You don't want it to physically touch you, is the feeling you get, and it's hard. It's willfully push. It's not willfully, but physically pushing, but almost mentally. It's talking your brain and saying, "Do not hold me."
Yeah, she kind of like widens her hand to go, sorry, just a gift. I can give you a gift, and we can.
What do you have
follow.
for us, friend from the woods?
Um.
He brings death. We do not want that gift. Do not want that gift.
Okay. No death. And Beldam will kind of stop because her entire family's dead. All of her friends are dead. All of her people are dead. She's like a child on her own and is struggling to think what an
Against the Darkmaster.
what an adult would do in this situation, and all she can think of is the kind of things her people taught her were important. So she'll take one of her arrows from her quiver and hold up her arms and show the scarification, which she's not covered in because she's still young. But she has deep lines that have obviously been cut over and over in order to stay, that have been tainted with some kind of blue dye. So they're more permanent and more visible than tattoos. And we'll just hold up like the arrow and the marks and be like, no death. I will remember you forever if you let us follow. I will
You'll give us the
hold you
promise.
forever. We live a very long time. And I will keep you. I will remember you forever. And everyone who sees me will see you. And she'll start to like dig the tip of the arrow into her skin. So it's like she's offering to tattoo them on herself. No death.
Okay.
Memory. That's
So make a charisma roll for me.
Ooh, which one's charisma? Is that wits?
I think it's a skill of its own.
Bearing. Oh, is it? Oh, wait, is it? Oh, yes, it is. I found it. Oh, it's not very good. Mm, 31.
Okay. You feel many eyes upon you. You feel them brushing. You feel things touching the marks on your skin, although the fingers, whatever they are gone too quick. And you're not sure the outcome of your cry. And let's go back to the top. So now we are going to declare more actions as the situation in the grove grows more tense. And Dan, if you would like to make an assess roll for us using your perception.
Yeah, can do. It'd be a 69.
Nice. You are aware of many things moving in the dark. You can see the axe being swung through, the silhouette of your other friend in the tree disappearing into that purple glow. You can see the strange friend that had dropped down from the tree communicating with the creatures, talking. And you see Deirdre. She is making signs in the dark, wielding that staff. You hear her words. Deirdre, what is the feeling that people get when they are touched by your chanting words?
They feel a sense of victory, a sense of bravery that they will make it through this mission and survive to the next. It's like a warm cloak that just protects them and motivates them to do their best.
That great heroic sensation pounds in the heart in your chest. You feel that golden glow of destiny. This is the place you are meant to be. You have things to do here. You are heartened. Okay, so now we do our declarations. What would everyone like to do this time? And let's start with Dan and we'll go around anti-clockwise as I hit my cables.
Francis would like to get up off the ground. It's a good start. And start heading towards his friend disappearing into the tree. So hopefully try and drag them out when he can.
Okay. I'm gonna say because you've got to get up, you won't be able to sprint in this turn, which would use a whole action. You'll just be able to get up and then start moving. Okay.
Yeah.
And Shakes, what is Beldam doing? I keep wanting to call you Bedlam.
I know. It's the Beldam.
Beldam.
You can call her Shine if you want, but Beldam is still trying to convince these things that she has a gift worth giving, because she does not see this fight ending well. She is a ranged person. She's mainly taken out frogs for target practice, so she's just trying to convince them that she has a gift worth taking. Okay. Even if it's not the one she offered, she's still kind of like, I'm working with you, I'm negotiating.
Okay. I'm gonna say, because to me this is almost akin to like concentrating on a spell as a repeated action, that you'll gain 10% towards your roll this time. I don't think that's entirely in the rules, but I feel like it's in the right spirit, so that's what we're gonna do. And Hollow, what is Emmerich doing?
So they haven't given his friend back yet, and his threat wasn't empty. He is going to engage the tree in melee and go for a strike, which is a half action to force, which I believe is a -20 to his attack.
Yes. It's -20 to both actions.
Yes, so I move in, and then I'm going to swing the axe towards the tree, towards where we saw it open up.
Okay, perfect. It is still open, if that helps.
Oh, cool.
Right now you can still see the purple emanation.
If it's open then, instead of that, instead of the half action to engage the tree in melee, I think he's going to look back at his companions, look at the hero, the squirrel, and the guide, and just go, I'll be back soon. And then run in after.
Okay.
After
Taking responsibility for him.
Alright, we've got movement action.
So he's going to sprint.
Alison, what is Mornian doing?
So Mornian is probably still sort of checking behind her to see if any of her companions are coming, and asking questions about Riazra. So, how do you know them? How are they? Who are they to you?
Okay, I'm going to ask you to pick the most important question to you, and that's the one that I'll have them deal with on your turn.
Okay, probably who is Riazra to you?
Who is Riazra to us? Okay. Perfect. And Angie, what is Deirdre doing?
I think Deirdre's probably going to follow the lead because, she didn't want to fight things. So if the dude who's fighting things is running, she's going to be like, okay. And she'll move.
And they are cutting off your hair.
Yeah, that's fine. They can keep cutting it. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Doesn't matter. What is your hair? How is it?
She probably has them in thick braids. So it's just kind of almost like box braids, but not quite.
So imagine what you're feeling is a soaring as they're trying to just take the whole braid off.
No, they can come with if they want. She's just moving.
She's just moving. All right, perfect. And moving is the next phase. So everyone who said they were moving, you're moving forwards. If you're sprinting, I do believe there is a check involved, especially since this terrain is pretty difficult. And I'm going to say this adds a -20 modifier in addition to any other modifiers you have, as it is difficult terrain that you're moving across.
Is there a roll for movement? Or is it just straight up?
Let me see. Yeah, double check the sprint action. Oh, gone too far. Scrolled too far. If anyone has joined us late, we are playing Against the Darkmaster, which is on Kickstarter right now. It's a really fun D100 epic fantasy system. And currently our friends are lost in the jungle, surrounded by things known as teeth, which are demanding gifts and generally causing a little bit of chaos. Alright, sprint. Movement and traveling. Let me see. Encumbrance, that's not that bit. I know I have seen this somewhere. Maybe it's under the movement section in combat. Dashing attack, different chattering teeth.
I mean, they are chatting a lot.
They are chatting a lot. They are very communicative. Where is the Reddit action?
Let's see.
I know I've read it somewhere today.
Come on.
Let's
sprint. Up to 30 meters. Good lord, there are 14 mentions of sprint.
Oh, one too far. Previous.
Movement traveling.
Combat.
Travels.
Alright, we will call this, here we go, movement and positioning. Full action may cover meters up to their move rate or sprint up to twice their move rate. A sprinting character cannot parry and cannot get a shield bonus to defense. Okay, so I don't think you need to make a roll. So, cool. You were just open to more open to attacks. Awesome. So you sprint towards this opening, and I'm gonna make a roll because I'm GM and I have little creatures. The next stage is the spell phase. I don't believe anyone had a spell they were doing, correct? I'm gonna imagine you're all shaking your heads because I can't see you right now.
Sorry, that's a no. No spells.
Okay.
What is magic?
Awesome.
No spells.
What are spells?
Nice. Alright, these creatures make an attack against you. This is a melee bite attack, Hollow, against Emmerich.
All right.
You cannot parry it, and your shield doesn't count if you have one.
I don't have a shield.
Don't have a shield?
No.
Right, where's
no,
my
I've got
little
great
beast
access
here?
to hands.
Okay, cool. Let me see. Is plus 35. Alright, scroll. I do actually quite like that all of the information is in tables. It's just taking me a second because I don't have it printed down in front of me. Alright, so bite comes under. Alright, you are going to take 9 sup, and sup stands for going too far. Let me just double check this. So you feel these fangs bite into you, digging into your flesh where it's exposed. Mostly your face, I imagine, your ears, the neck, just under the coif of your armor. What does SUP stand for?
So I do have some armor on as well. I don't know if that counts for anything. It's I have a full helm and a breastplate, which is an SWI of 15.
See? Beldam knew. Stupid hat.
Stupid strong hat.
Sup totally counts for your suppleness, so you lose 9 to your suppleness.
My beautiful pecs.
You're just not supple.
I was
Is
known
that
as the
legitimately
supple man.
what that stands for?
No, I was just being a shit.
Oh, that would have been the best roll for
It's like, wait,
suppleness.
what?
That needs to be a mechanic. Just
Alright, I'm
remember
not sure what
suppleness.
SUP stands for right now. I will find out. I don't think it is basically like, I think it's an unsevere attack. And it's
Wait,
on a
does it stand
9.
for superstitions
Superficial
or
damage,
something?
I think.
Superficial.
Yeah, superficial
That is
damage.
what. Alright, so this is 9 superficial damage that you take.
You get a scratch on your stupid hat.
Not my hat. That's fine. That's no problem. He bleeds. Angry blood.
Apologize.
You
for
made
the
me
delay.
bleed my own blood!
Yeah, I was gonna say, no one makes me bleed my own blood.
But yes, you feel these bites against your skin. You're sure they'll heal up, but they are painful and distracting for certain. All right, and that brings us to additionals. So Shakes, if you would like to go.
Hey, okay, so this is charisma again?
Yes.
Oh, yay, I'm so bad at this. And I add 10% after I've rolled?
Yeah, just add, like, it's another plus 10 modifier in addition to your modifier.
Oh,
I shouldn't call it a percent. That's my
Thank
bad.
you, percentage is scary.
I apologize.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, it's plus 10.
107. Yeah, that's 107.
107. Okay, much better indeed. So what is your kind of desire with this encounter? You want to give them a gift, correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to win passage into the tree for at least me, if not the other two people I don't hate right now.
So the chorus
Everyone would be
deliberates
nice,
around you. There's a buzz of hostility in the air, but you hear them decide. They accept your promise that they won't be forgotten, that they will be shown, that they will be seen. They don't normally like to be seen, but they like the idea that you will make them seen. And you feel almost a pushing sensation, a pulling on some of your fur clothing to lead you into the tree. And you wander and you follow towards that purple light. Ahead of you, your two companions rush and run. And the things follow. But you do not feel any biting attacks yourself. And you can only assume that your gift has been fully accepted.
Not gonna push my luck, I'm just gonna go where they're pushing me.
Okay. Does anyone intend to make any more attacks at this time? Okay, then I will move us out of the combat style play and we'll go back to narrative until such a time as it becomes combat again. So you push forward into this tree, and as you step in, it's a similar thing with the mushrooms and the rings illuminating. When you get close, they light up. When you step away, they grow dark behind you. And again, these small creatures tearing around, fussing, asking for things.
I think I'll continue to sprint forward, shouting out Mernine's name. And just essentially continue to shout that and try and find them. Axe still in hand, bleeding from my cheek slightly. My plumpness decreased.
Plumpness? Your friends are calling for you, and the little voices, the chorus around you, Mornian, say, "See, we told you they would come. He brings death, you know. Why would you lead him here? Why would you bring death with you? Are you one of them? Who do you serve?"
I serve myself first. The college second.
We serve ourselves too, and we help her. Riazra, the one that you seek.
You do?
This is hers. This land. Well, we let her believe so. There seems to be some argument between them as to whether they're following or whether they're just letting her lead.
It's most gracious of you to let her live in your lands and see them flourish so. We want to help her too.
Well, she did keep him out. She kept them out too. No one dared walk in the woods when they feared her, and we helped the fear.
I see. Then I think your goals are aligned with ours. Even the one who brings death wants what you want, I think.
How do you know?
Call it a feeling.
They owe us gifts. And there's a fluttering around you. You sense more have come from the back to join the front with you. And there's an exchange going on.
And I'm still leading. If I've run out of food, I'll begin leaving little pennies and little coins, because I have money on me as well. So I'll be offering copper at first, and just leaving little
away. She does. Gifts, so many gifts. She has manners. And there's a big discussion about manners that ensues. All of you can kind of hear this constant whispering. Sometimes it's a buzz, sometimes words are distinct. People, the little creatures harass you, Emmerich, as you make your way up. They pull at you, they jab at you, they kind of keep making small bite attacks, although they grow more shy as you proceed through the tree, sprinting along. And you can see up ahead, just on around the Spyro, Mornian's cloak, just the edge of it.
Maybe
ahead,
if you apologize, they might leave you alone.
No, I don't do apologies.
Murderers
Could I
don't have
apologize for you?
remorse.
Can I apologize for him? He's just grumpy.
You will give them back, or I will only gift you with more death. He
Oh,
says he
that'll
continues
work.
sprinting.
Yes, because that's worked so far.
Odin! He'll say as he continues to run.
Do I hear them
Oh
at
my
this point?
goodness.
Yes, you can hear them.
Oh,
Coming up.
1 minute. Sorry for stopping. I say to the all the little voices. Turn round. Is that you, Emmerich? You're very
You're muted.
mute.
Alas,
It's making his
throat
voice.
was catchy. The hero's words, they strike deep, but not true. Are you there, Morgan?
What are you blathering on about?
Nothing. Are you safe?
Yes. I mean, I lost you, but then I found these, well, friends.
Dreadful creatures that wish to eat you. Don't worry.
Well, they've eaten my rations, but I've offered them to them. Oh, they're taking us to see Ryasra, so I thought, why not go along with them?
These true creatures. They
Well,
rely
don't
with our
take
own
you.
bullets.
You kill our kind. You threaten the tree. You're
You
one
want
of
to stop
them.
Murderer.
or take me.
Beldam is looking so vindicated right now as she's carving what looks to be a very spiky dragonfly into her arm, just stood there like, see? I knew it.
If you wish for the deaths to stop, I will come with them. You will show me where we are. You wish to have a gift that I do not wish to give, I will give you mercy.
That's
She
a
is
really
not going
big
to
gift
like
coming from him.
you.
I don't think you understand
She
how
is not
big a
going
deal
to
that
like
is.
you at all.
I don't think anyone likes him.
Nobody does.
I-
There
I
we go.
do.
It's a talent to be disliked so much.
He can be quite tolerable sometimes, you know.
Well,
I
when
think
he's burning
tolerable
things
is the best
down
we're
or
going to
killing
get.
them. Which is more tolerable, the burning or the killing?
Well, sometimes the killing is useful.
Indeed.
And I mean, like, you know, killing happens in nature all the time, so, like, it's not like he's totally...
Nature doesn't use
course.
axes. Just saying.
That's because nature isn't smart enough to.
She kicks him in the shin again. Her foot is probably bleeding at this point. She does not care.
You seem to have gained a individual with
Yes,
you.
this is the squirrel. They're a very good guide and a very...
I'm not
Young.
a squirrel.
Who are you? And you
And
see
she
this,
kind of-
this lady like dressed in like these white robes that they only seem to be like slightly touched by the dirt. Just turn, like hands clasped, looking at you.
You're very clean.
I try, yes.
Ew.
And she kind of draws herself up and says, I am Beldam Shine, the oak. And
The
she's
oak.
she's about 4 foot tall. She's not tall at all.
Mhm.
She is short. Even for a child, she is short.
All right.
She's a sapling.
Yeah, I'll be grumbling sapling as well. Sapling.
She is a squirrel.
A mighty oak, I see. And what are you doing here, Beldam
Well,
Shine?
I was going to kill that one, but you know, there's more of you, and you don't seem to be like that one. So,
Oh,
So you-
and then the teeth were going to eat you, and you don't seem to be like that one.
And every time she says that one, she just points at him like that one.
So I figured I'd
What
try
is
and
it
help
about
you.
my companion that upsets you so, Beldam Shine?
Everything, probably.
Well, yes,
He's
he is
one of
quite a
them.
great one.
Does that
Well,
not
I do.
upset you?
Ah,
I mean, by one of them.
you mean one of
Yep.
the dark ones?
And she
You know-
she just gestures at his everything, like,
My dark armor,
while-
my big great axe.
While I'm enjoying this very civil conversation, we are in the middle of a horde of monsters inside of a tree. Can we go elsewhere first, please?
Monsters
still
is
sawing at my
relative. They
hair?
haven't done anything to me.
No,
And
we're
she
going
looks
to
at
see
Emmerich again, like-
Riazra. Sir Francis, don't worry. We're safe. Just don't harm them and give them a little trinket. Give them some food. It's fine.
Are they still sawing at my hair?
I think they've now gotten through one of your braids, and like 2 of them have it kind of strung between them, and they're flying up and away with this braid.
They
You've
want a
had a
gift.
haircut. Yes.
I can give them a gift. I know of a gift. I
Can
can
you?
We
give
like
them
gifts.
the gift of my beautiful voice.
Didn't know you were
A
a
new
bard,
voice.
Sir Francis.
Dan, you're gonna kill me?
Are you going to sing?
We would
He's
like a new
scary.
voice. We've never been given one of those before.
Oh no, what if they steal your voice?
Not
We don't
soon.
steal. It's a gift.
Well-
It's a gift. A gift of a new voice.
Right, but what if you can't speak after you give them the gift of your voice? Like, careful what you
I
say.
meant more in the gift of a song than anything.
You can't take back or change the gift once you've agreed to give it.
And you know, I agree with the strange, creepy creatures. You must give them your voice.
And you feel one just clump down onto like your chin and just bite in, drawing blood.
How?
Smug. This is smug.
So, I'd
That's your
like
gift.
to try a spell song.
Okay.
The only one I can do, which I believe is Song of Tranquility.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Let's have a look. So, how does one roll spells? I've not looked at that bit yet.
So it's based on your, I believe, your spell lore. So if this is a spell song, I think that is a thing.
Yes.
That's part of
spell
your
song.
racial lord, right?
Yes, it's the elven one.
Right. It should be listed, if you have the pre-gen sheet, it should be listed under the spell lores.
Yes. So. let's have a
Here
look.
we go.
So I just
Targets.
added 20 to it. I think.
Song of Tranquility.
One
didn't look at
target.
spells.
And it lasts as long as you concentrate. To roll a spell, let's scroll up to that section. Double check, we're doing this right, because it's our first time playing.
Learning
Welcome.
together. Learning is fun. Learning is fun when you're learning with friends.
I feel like that's gonna be our new, like, mid-game jingle. Alright, let me see. I'm nearly there. Scroll. The art in this is ridiculous. I love it so much. Spells. It's somewhere up here.
And remember, if you do lose your voice, you have to do the thing from The Little Mermaid. Because we all deserve to hear that.
I would love to hear Dan do that scene.
Alright, let me see.
It's either that or Phantom of the Opera, and that's just, it would break the microphones.
Okay,
So
so
I-
spell casting.
Sing for me!
Most spells use a single action to cast, but characters may concentrate to enhance their chance of success. Spellcasting roll. A character must make an open-ended roll on the spellcasting table, adding their total skill bonus for the spell lore used, plus any modifier. So I guess the spell lore would be whatever school it is, or type it is.
Mm-hmm. So.
It is modified by the wearer's armor skill bonus.
Armor skill is
As a
10.
penalty. Oh, sorry. Armor movement penalty is what it is, the effect.
So. Movement penalty is -10, so I take a -10 to this roll.
Yeah, -10. And I'm
Plus
gonna say
mine.
that you're concentrating on doing this.
Okay.
You're not doing it on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So you prepare yourself.
Yep. And that'll be a 100 exactly.
Exactly 100. If the spell does not require a save roll, it succeeds. Does your spell require a saving roll?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, it does.
Okay. What is the target number? The difficulty of the save, I believe,
I
is
think the
based
question's
on. I did read this earlier. It's based on the level of the spell plus something. Let me see. Resistances. It's a will save. Saves table. Save rolls. Willpower save rolls represent the character's chance to resist an attack. Alright, that's what I get. That's my modifier. What is your spell? Does it say on the spell thing?
It just says that there is a save, but it doesn't tell me what exactly. Target sentient humanoid creature is filled with a sense of calm and peacefulness by this song. Can't engage in any aggressive activity for the duration of the spell. If the target is attacked, they can defend themselves normally.
It says read difficulty of the save. I'm not sure what that is. I will make the roll while we look that up real quick. Okay, I'm gonna guess they fail. I did not roll well. So we'll say they'll fail, and I will find that table or information for us for the next time we roll.
Okay.
As far as... Oh wait, if I roll low, I succeed? If the spell requires a save roll... Oh no, I'm reading this wrong. Right, yes, so they failed. What is the effect of the spell?
Cool. It's, excuse me, that they are filled with calm and peacefulness, and that's really, and they can't engage in anything aggressive.
Okay.
Until they're attacked or break out of it.
Oh, does that mean they stop biting the bad man?
It does.
Oh, shucks.
So you feel them... I think the save roll difficulty is 55 according to this sheet. I could be wrong, but I'm going to use this table for now. So... Yeah, they cease in their assaults on Emmerich. It only says you could target one individual, but because this group kind of works as a hive mind to some extent, I'm going to say that they are all tranquil for now. And they chatter around you and they buzz away from Emmerich. They still mutter small things, but the topic of conversation shifts. Such a lovely voice. How do we use it? I don't know. Never had a new voice. And you hear small mimicries as they attempt to repeat what you have done. Oh, missed the box. And Dan, I need you to make a will save roll. The difficulty of 55.
Will is what specifically? Is wisdom?
Wisdom saving roll. I guess it's wisdom. Not will in this.
Oh boy.
I think it's called a will saving roll, but it's your number plus
armor.
your... Hang on.
Are you using a pre-gen, Dan? Because it's in your save rolls.
Oh,
So it should
okay.
say...
This space
Your
right here.
W... Yeah. SR. Your WSR.
Yep. It's in this space right here.
Uh-huh,
Like right
okay.
above experience
a-
tracking.
a mighty +5 to my roll.
Oh, rip.
By the way, the whole time you're singing Beldam, it looks like she's trying not to look sad because last time she heard these songs was before her entire people were wiped out.
So,
That would be a
wisdom
fail.
saving roll is your wisdom stat +5 times your current level, which is 1, so +5, and then your wisdom stat.
Yeah, so
And
I
then
got a
any
37.
modifiers. Okay, 37. You also fail, and you feel yourself become charmed by this peaceful energy that weaves through you.
Cool.
And all around you, you can all hear the song, although they're focusing on the one who gave them the voice, and so it's only targeting one target. And you make your way up through this tree. It's dark now down below you, and you don't see that soupy thickness in here that you had in the jungle, but you do see that pale purple light. And it kind of weaves around below you as you see the shapes of them moving through it, shaping it like a wind, picking up leaves, blowing it around. And you reach another opening ahead of you, Mornian, another gap in this tree, and it's a small space, so anyone over about 6 foot tall is gonna have to hunch and duck to walk down this corridor.
Short people for the win!
And you smell food. It's sweet and spicy. It's cinnamon and fruit. And they chatter excitedly.
So we smell compote.
I do turn to Emmerich. Are you sure you don't want to give them a gift before you go in?
I'm quite sure. I'm giving them gift enough with mercy. Morning. They took you from us. They scratched me and made me bleed my own blood. A
Well,
rarity.
I'll just stop
Last
you right
person who made
there.
me bleed my own blood, I horribly killed.
You all left me in that
So
jungle.
surprising.
You left.
Didn't leave
You
you.
did.
You disappeared. We were together.
You went after Deirdre, both of you, and left me alone. And the jungle got disorientating.
But a few meters, if anything.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
blame them. Oh, it's alright. We're all here now. Don't worry. But you should at least apologise. Emmerich.
Don't hold your breath.
And she just gives him a look.
He'll look at it and kind of look like, don't make me do this.
We found you. We found you in the dark.
You
Gave a
did?
gift, and now we lead the way.
You do?
We should have dinner.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You should.
Beldam now has that like carved into her arm. Can you see that? There we go.
Mhm.
Nice.
It's bleeding quite heavily, but she doesn't seem to mind.
What's for dinner?
There's an eerie chorus of giggles around you, which is familiar and disconcerting. They'd laughed like this before.
I don't like the way that sounds.
Well, we just walked into a Teeth's home. This is gonna be interesting.
And as the last of you stoops through this entrance into this narrower pathway, behind you, the doorway seals in a rumble of wood. The purple pulses bright, and then it goes dark.
Bring up my
Holding the
lantern.
axe so close.
I'm just gonna hide behind Mornian's skirts. There's nothing else to hide behind. I'm not hiding behind Endrick, so it's like, this is big. I'll just hide behind this.
Do you need something to stop that bleeding thing that's going on with you?
No,
Looking down at the rock.
it'll stop. It's not that deep.
Have the teeth disappeared now?
The teeth
Or
are
you
still
know,
hovering around with you, but there seems to be less of them now. There's a wave of them kind of pushed down this corridor and away.
Well,
You hear kind of odd words.
Seeing as though there are teeth still nearby, you're all still blessed with the glorious voice of Francis as he continues singing.
Continues singing the whole way. And the teeth sing back to you.
Beldam
And
finds
then
this
there's
comforting.
a sharp crack sound to your right, Emmerich. And you see a glint of something cutting into the wall. And again, you hear that sound as it's brought down. No, it interrupts our new voice. Our new voice. Don't let him stop. Don't let him stop the song. We must keep singing.
What interrupts?
And again, crack as something is brought into the outer wall of this tunnel that you walk into. And you see something through that crack. You're in great danger. Hurry! And again,
You're just going to start shoving forward.
Yep. Start running.
Yeah. I'm going to run over and just try and bring the axe down as well, if we're trying to get through that area. Just like to help with the
They mustn't
cutting
leave.
through.
We're going to have dinner. They accepted the invite. They gave us gifts. They cannot leave. They can't leave. And
yeah,
you
will
begin
not.
to feel the creatures swarm back down the tunnel towards you. Where are you going? What are you doing? They're very concerned as they hurry around Mornian. And you are striking with the axe over and
Yeah, try
over,
and help.
widening this gap. Don't listen to them. The creatures, they are clever. They'll consume you all. Hurry!
Can we see who the voice is, or?
You can kind of see like a shred of a face. It appears to be a middle-aged woman. She has crow's feet around her eyes, dark tanned skin, and a great mound of hair pulled up haphazardly onto the top of her head. That's the word.
Okay, at that then, I'm going to try and confuse the creatures. I'm going to cast illusion, I think. I'm going to cast an illusion spell. Give me just a moment to have a look. Wizard Grimoire illusion. Oh, I can cast a phantom sound at first level.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it sound like there's more adventurers coming another way. Say gifts, 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 and see if they go and try and go for them instead.
Okay. So make the roll to cast the spell.
So I base that off of my wit stat.
Okay.
So I have a 40 to illusion. That's fine. So plus 40. Roll. That's 100. Is that 100? 90 plus 10 is 100. I don't understand.
90 plus 10 is 100. What does it say?
Do I just roll again? Because I've rolled 100?
No, on your base dice. Oh, wait. I see.
There's the
Yeah, that
base
is 100.
dice.
Yeah, so you roll again.
It is.
Okay, sweet.
That's a critical success.
Critical success. That's another 96. I roll again. And a 27. So that's a lot. I'm saying that's a lot.
That is a lot. That's an
Okay.
insane a lot.
Yeah.
That's math I can't even do.
Hang on. So it's 100 plus 90. Yeah, so it's over 176. So the spell does not require a save roll. It automatically succeeds. If the spell requires a save roll, read the difficulty of the save. It's going to be really hard. Furthermore, choose one. The spell costs half the magic points to cast. Or you can choose to add a warping option to the spell for free, provided that its cost is no more than half the cost of the spell itself. So warping is like a leveling up type option.
I would like to warp it then, if I can make a phantom image as well to sort of make it look more real, so there are people, or at least a light, like a flickering light, like a torchlight or something.
Okay, you tell me exactly what you want the phantom image to be. You rolled it 100. You can have it be whatever you want.
All right. I'm going to have a set of about 2 more adventurers, and they seem to be like merchants that I've seen in like heavy garb. They've got like jangling bells. They have like cooked food in their hand. They have feathers and all sorts of interesting things about them, and they seem to be wandering around holding up platters of beautiful fruits.
Okay, I like it very much.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna roll to make sure they don't crit to succeed.
That's fine.
They do not. And they surge down towards the new offering, new gifts, new food. But the voice is gone. We'll come back for the voice, the food. We must see what they have, new gifts. And they surge away, and you continue to hack at this. Emmerich, make me just one axe roll for me, please.
Certainly will do. And that will be slash die 1d100 plus 85.
How big was the hole before he started
150.
hacking at it?
Before he started hacking at it, it was probably like an inch wide, if that was the beginning of a splintering of wood.
Okay.
150. You are making light work of this tree. It's not a wood axe in your hands, but it is mighty, and you are strong as you wield it, and you can kind of twist and bend to widen this gap. It's now maybe half a foot wide, and you can see more fully the woman on the other side. She's wearing simple clothes, dyed in natural dyes of green and brown. Around her neck, you see a necklace of teeth, actual teeth, not the creatures. Different sizes and shapes, a couple of talons, natural things that have been collected. I thought I wasn't going to get to you in time.
You followed us.
Well, you made it very easy.
Very well. He'll continue to kind of pull and hack whilst the others are sort of doing their thing, but we'll keep an eye on her.
As soon as like the gap is like, you know, almost a foot big, Beldown will be like on the ground trying to wriggle through, like next to Enric's feet, just like I want to get away from these people.
Okay. And I'll say, because you are quite petite, you could easily kind of surge through this gap if you would like.
Yeah.
Could I help with a swift boot?
Yes. You assist with a swift boot. And
Yeah, I'll stay behind because I'm concentrating on keeping the spell going. I'll be basically through the words. I'm quietly whispering. I'll be urging the others to get going, get going.
Yeah, no,
You were meant to be-
100%.
No.
Deidre will
New
be trying to
gifts.
get through.
Okay, and you do get through, but as you do, Francis, are you concentrating still on that singing?
If they seem distracted, then no. Instead, it seems though he's under the spell himself. He can't do anything aggressive, so he can't attack to get out either, because that's aggressive. So instead, given he can cast spells, does he know if he picks somebody up while they're concentrating on a spell, will it knock them out of it?
It shouldn't interrupt her concentration. Just don't yeet her, would be my advice.
Okay.
Lady, I'm not to be
Francis-
yeeted.
Francis will saunter over and Princess carry her over to the hole to stop her while she's casting. So he doesn't interrupt her casting and getting her towards the hole to get her out.
And like a bride across the threshold, you kind of sidestep and awkwardly cram yourself through this splintered hole that Emmerich and this woman have kind of cleaved into the side of this tree. And you can feel suddenly that rush of humidity as the outside air hits your skin, soupy and thick again.
If everyone's out, Amric will leave last. And make sure that everybody's out and safe before he'll step out as well. And he'll give the hero a bit of a stink eye, but after that we'll sort of look around and go, good, we're safe. Squirrely well.
You know, you're still here, but okay.
Yes,
So,
squirrel.
Francis, you can put me
She's
down
still on the
now.
ground.
Oh, of course. He'll put you down.
Thank you. And turn to the lady.
Okay, you take in your bearings and you realize you are actually stood on one of the great branches of this tree, high up in the canopy, higher than is logical based on how far you'd come up through the tree. She leads you down its length and then swings off of a branch to another. She shows you where there are ladders and swings through this woods, and you are taken to what she says is her home. It's cut into the upturned roots of a long fallen tree. Great mossy plant growth covers the roof and the front, trailing down like Spanish moths. She parts it with a wave of her hand, and you realize she doesn't touch it to part it. This woman has magic. And down she leads you, this time into the earth. And the air, it's still damp, but it is cooler in here. And there is a small crackling hearth. Hanging up, various seed pods and fruits line one of the walls. There's a table, chairs, and a bed pushed up against the far wall near the hearth. What are you doing here? Who wanders in the jungle in these dark times? Don't you know what is happening?
Well, I'd say someone desperate of help, really. We heard that you would be the best person to come to about what we all seek. The end of the Darkmaster,
right?
And she squints, evaluating you all. How do you know this name? Who is this person that you seek?
I don't know this name.
Yes, squirrel, we know.
I'm not a squirrel.
The lady is told of in fables and legends. It is not a lead that maybe is wise to follow, but it is the only one we had.
What help can she be, this woman in the jungle that you seek?
The end of the Darkmaster.
Safe passage?
Safe passage? Seek the Darkmaster on the other side of the jungle. And she laughs, and it's like a bitter, hollow sound. And she pulls a bottle from on top of the hearth and uncorks it with a pot and takes a deep swig.
You don't have to be mean about it.
We seek to part them with their head. And of course their power. We seek to
Revenge
kill.
is good.
Revenge. That's what fuels the Darkmaster. You simple children. And she casts a bottle into the fire. You feel just a wave of anger come off of her, and the fire goes in blue and green.
Beldam kind of shrinks from the fire, like, oh no, not again.
I seek no revenge.
Justice is much more suitable to our needs.
I just want to find the source of the darkness and stop it.
I just want to kill him.
Similar wants of mine. I wish to set right what was wrong.
There's no doing that, but him dead is a good start.
I want to liberate him of his power and liberate the lands that he unfairly rules.
Power, freedom, justice, knowledge. You cover the whole
I'd also
spectrum,
like for my
don't you?
dreams to start.
Dreams.
We do.
And the dream comment really catches her attention, and she draws closer to you and looks really closely at your face. Who are you, dreamer?
I'm Deirdre. I've just been having. It feels like messages in my dreams. It's like I don't know. I'm very connected to nature, and
she just stops because she doesn't know quite what to say. What all is good to say. how much to
And
give away
she
that kind of
grabs
thing.
either side of your face, and it's not violent, but it's a strong grip on either side, and she's staring deep into your eyes. What do you see in your dreams is a commanding voice. It's almost got a magical effect behind it. And if you want to resist, you will need to roll a will resistance roll.
So, die 1d100 plus 25.
Will save, sorry. I
Ooh,
forget what this thing's called.
it's a critical fail.
Oh, yeah.
So I got minus 50 plus 25, so minus 25.
Okay, you are compelled to answer her question. What do your dreams contain?
I see a dark shadow stretching over the woods, and it corrupts everything it touches and chokes out the life of the trees and turns spirits into vengeful ghosts. And then I hear a voice that says, in the whispering meadows where the painted join to the ranks of the unpainted in battle, allies you'll find against the coming storm. The carrion crows gather where the starving wolves howl, but only the hound will guide you to the resting place of the flower-crowned queen.
You've seen it too. How could you have seen it? And she lets go of your face, and she goes to the table. She rips off that necklace around her neck and pulls all of the teeth off, and she shakes them as if she's rattling dice and throws them down. You are them. I did not know. How could they not have seen it? And she seems to be shrinking before your eyes, the clothing shaking down. And as she turns now, it's not a human face with tan skin, but a more leathery and reptilian face that looks at you. How did I not see? I nearly left. Maybe I should have left you. This is not going to end well for you all, you know?
Nothing ever does. But as long as
No,
it
not
ends
for
worse for the Dark
you.
Lord.
You were his friend.
Beldam like
Thought you
looks
were
up at
his
him as like,
friend.
Was being the operative word. He says he's a little ashamed of himself.
And she rearranges the teeth in front of her. Yes, you have a lot of betrayal around you, Emmerich the Black. A lot of death, but you already knew about that bit.
I do.
The betrayal you
Same.
fear is not the one that you know. And you, she spins around and points to Mornian. You are hiding something.
Aren't we all? Wasn't you?
Yes, I was hiding many things. I always hide things. Because I have things worth hiding. But this... very dangerous.
Are you
And
going
you.
to help us?
You're the one. And she's looking at Francis dead in the eyes. You will wield the sword that strikes at the dark.
She knows you're the hero.
Everybody knows I'm the hero.
Beldam is hiding behind Mornian's skirts again, by the way. As far away from Emmerich as is possible to get.
I'm glad somebody can finally see my talents. He shoots Emmerich a side eye.
Yeah, he just looks at you, rolls his eyes. I
You'll
hope
need
this will
him.
strike him through yourself.
You'll all need each other. Oh no.
Even the squirrel.
Yes.
Call me
Yes, we will
Squirrel
all
one more
need
time
each
and I
other.
will put an arrow in your crotch. I can reach.
I
Silence!
can hear that.
Shh! He can hear you. He can see you. And you can see the woman in front of you begin to shake violently. And she crouches onto the table, and the table shakes too, banging against the wall. And her eyes glow bright and purple. And blood begins to seep from the small holes that you imagine must be ears, from the gums of her teeth in her mouth, from her nose, and then her eyes. You'll need to find it. Quick, the teeth. And she's trying to rearrange them. Okay, one last spell. And she reaches out and grabs onto Mornian and onto you, Deidre. And you feel her pull on your powers, on your magical powers. And I need you both to roll the other type of save, which is more constitution-based.
Mm-hmm. What is my sheet? Oh, is it TSR?
Yes, TSR, toughness, that's right.
Oh boy. That's a hearty +5. 49.
Hearty +5 indeed.
Yeah.
Alright. And Angie?
You
I got a
Miss
106.
Lizzo.
106. Perfect. Alright, so Deidre, you feel instantly lightheaded as this power is pulled from you. And you swoon into the chair just close enough. And Shakes, you feel a strange energy washing off of Mornian. And you've seen that purple before. That's the purple that brings fire. It's a different vibrancy from the purple that you'd seen in the tree. It's almost indigo, it's blue, it's ultraviolet purple. And it grows brighter and then dims in her eyes. And Deidre, you feel this pull of energy too, but the nature around you pushes back and through you, and you steel yourself beside this woman. And all of you then feel it, the ground shake, the floor, the dirt that has been compacted over many, many years shakes and splits. There, you need to go. Follow the tunnel. It will take you to what you seek. Hurry! And
Thank
her
you.
head explodes, casting blood and viscera all around this strange reptilian woman. And the earth beneath you, its roots entangled, it's like a rabbit warren. And it's just wide enough for you to scurry down, crawling, stumbling, slipping. And you end in an open cavern with a splash as you descend into water, slipping the last 10, 15 feet. It's cold in here compared to the jungle. And as you look beneath your feet, piles and piles of skulls, rib cages, pelvic bones, femurs, tibia, great catacombs of death. And glowing, a pile at its heart, a sword, emanating pale blue light. The sword is slowly rising, lifted up by these twisted skeletons. And you realize not all of these skeletons are human. Not all of the dead here are humanoid. And all of you feel called towards this sword. Except for Mornian. You are called towards something else. There is a smaller mound rising. And I would like to know what you all do.
First look at the hero and say, well, there's your sword, hero.
Of course it is. It is definitely my sword.
Beldam is
I will
already
go-
sneaking towards it.
I'm washing myself off, trying to get all of like the swamp goo and the viscera off of my face and body.
Yeah,
Francis is going to go and claim his sword.
That will stick close to Morning.
I'm stumbling and holding on to Emmerich, but I like as soon as I can, I take my hand away and I go over to the other mound. I don't bother washing myself off just yet.
Yeah, I'll be following.
Beldam's just
Morning.
heading for the sword.
Okay.
Like, ooh, shiny. Shiny and not dead. This is good. Not dead is good.
Alright, as you both move for the sword, Mornian and Francis, I would like you... let's just roll flat D100s as we're near the end of the session.
I'm
As
not moving
luck
for the
will
sword,
place
I'm
it up.
moving...
Sorry,
I'm
not
moving
Mornian,
No, that's... yeah. Beldam.
Yeah, sorry,
Beldam.
yeah. That's fine.
Sorry, that was my bad. I used the wrong
No,
name.
sorry. Cool.
Okay. So you move for the sword, and you see Beldam is sprightly and moving quickly, hopping from pile to pile as the shifting of the bones tumbles around her. And you will reach the sword first, Beldam, and I'd like you to make a TSR, please, a toughness saving roll.
Okay. $97. Okay.
Okay, roll again.
Okay. Same.
Yep.
Thing.
No modifiers, because you rolled a... Oh no, you didn't roll a 90, sorry. I misread it.
No, sorry.
Okay, cool. So 97. As you touch this weapon, you see a land that is desiccated and blackened. You see the corpses of trees twisted up to the sky, and you see a great towering spire, a shard of earth, a spike to the heavens. And you see a man who sits on a throne above it all, and he laughs. And the sound echoes around your skull. And you see a woman with great ethereal wings stood before him. She wears simple furs, and she wields a great sword. And you reach the sword a moment or two later, Francis, and you see the hand outstretched from Beldam, the strange creature of the forest. What do you do?
So she's grabbing it already.
The hand is on it, but she is frozen in place.
He will, seeing that she's like grabbed it and then just stopped, he's going to, because obviously he's the hero, he's got to save her somehow, assuming something has gone wrong, is going to like try and slip his hand between hers and the sword and grab it, so him grabbing it will release her hand.
Okay, so what skill would you like to use for this? Let me see, where's my skill list gone? See if we can find something appropriate. I'll take a brawn-based skill.
Brawn? Not a problem.
Yeah, something strength-based.
Yes. That'd be 102 in total.
Okay. You try and slip your hand between, but she is gripping on like steel welded to this handle, so you begin to pry the fingers up and off, not to hurt her, very careful not to bend too far, not to break, and you separate that grip, and Beldam, that image fades from you. You knew something was about to happen, but it's gone. And you look, and Francis stands there beside you.
Are you okay?
What? I saw things. What did you do that for? And she will kick him in the shin.
Ow.
Well, yeah. Not like I can.
I
use
mean,
it
you
anyway.
touched
It's my
it
height.
and then stopped.
Oh.
You know, just kind of froze in place.
You hear
saw
the
weird
rumble
things.
of earth. And it's like what had happened above, only it's a cascade as that tunnel you had tumbled down and through is beginning to fill. It's beginning to come down into this cavern. Great clods of earth falling through the hole, down into the water. And the skulls are continuing to rise.
Right, no time like the wicked. Let's get going. I don't care if my phrase is wrong. Let's go. And
Sounds fine to me.
I guess grab the sword and try to leave with it.
Toughness saving roll, please. And Mornian, you go to the smaller pile, the pile that calls to you, and you begin to dig, not knowing what for. And you uncover a glinting chain. Much like that.
Like this one. What do I feel from it when I touch it?
Make a perception roll.
Okay. I think that's
Or an arcana roll would also be valid.
Oh yes, please, on the arcana roll. I'm much better at that.
Roll arcana instead.
That's a plus 50. Good. $108.
108. What you've found, you know, is a great treasure. You know it is magical. Just by touching it, you can feel that familiar hum. And you have a strange feeling it was here for you. You've seen this necklace somewhere before. You can't remember where or when. And Emmerich, you see her staring down at this chain, turning it over in her fingers, almost weaving it around and coiling it and uncoiling it.
And what is that?
I think it's mine.
Then take it and let's move. This place doesn't seem too safe. We have the sword. He says, and he'll help. He'll sort of offer an arm up to help you up.
She looks at it warily, but takes it.
Yeah, he helps you up, and then he gives you the non-viscera arm, if it helps. And, sort of...
Such a gentleman.
I call it my off arm. This is my on arm.
Is it the arm from the all?
Yes, it is.
And Deidre, what are you doing?
Finishing washing up and then probably climbing out and being like, so where do we go now?
Okay, perception check from you then, as you assess the situation.
Oh,
And Dan, as Francis grips onto this sword, you feel an intense heat from it, just straight up and into your arm. It's not burning your skin, but it is scalding hot. And then you see it too, the shard that stabs the heavens, the man atop the throne. You hear his laughing, and you see him staring at a champion in bright plate armor, a strong and noble warrior. And you know something is about to happen. And Beldam, as Francis has seen you frozen, so now you see Francis frozen too.
I kick him in the shin again.
This has no effect. Angie, roll nature 2.
Roll nature?
What did you roll, sorry, on your perception?
Oh, I
You rolled
got
nature 2?
82. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You see a small break in the earth on the far side of this chamber, and you can tell because the water is now pushing through it as it is pushed away by the skulls and out. It's a small hole, and you expect that soon this room will become full and it will compress you against its own ceiling.
We should go through there so we can get out, because otherwise we're going to be crushed against the ceiling, and that won't be good because I don't think we'll be able to survive that, so we should go.
So
That
out,
was
yes?
that was a lot. Beldam's gonna like take one of her furs off and try and like wedge it in between Francis's hand and the sword and try and like wrap the sword so they can just carry the thing out without touching it. It's apparently that's a bad.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to try and detach Francis's hand from the sword, or were you binding his hand to the sword?
No, she's basically just trying to wiggle the fur between his hand and the sword, like just wedging it up there.
Okay. What
I just
sort of
realized how
skill
bad that looked.
do you think that would be? It was beautiful, Angie. I was living for it. It's beautiful. Let's see what skills we've got.
I'm thinking it'd be like dexterity based, so the only thing I can think of is locks and traps. Because
I think locks and traps is a good call. I think it's a very similar kind of thing that you're doing. Yeah, locks and traps.
Okay. Alright. 47.
You try and push, but his grip is hard and strong. You can see his knuckles turning white. You just can't get that fabric up there. No matter, you come from it at the top, you come from it underneath. You try and move the sword without touching it, and the sword is staying strong and still. And Emmerich, you can see the creature known as Squirrel struggling with the hero who stood stock locked, staring into middle distance, gripping onto this sword.
So I'm going to look at them and just kind of go, he'll look over to Mornine and look over to our other guide companion and just be like, I'll go deal with this. And then walks over and just goes, Hero, I asked you to do one job, to grab a sword. He says, and we'll just grab it.
Okay.
Can you just carry him up?
Toughness saving roll, please. Hello.
Alright,
All
so
of the
that's...
chins.
So that is under my defenses. Which one is it again? Is it the... 30, cool. That's good.
Yeah.
100 plus 30. Okay, here we go. Okay, 105.
Okay. And you stand atop this spire opposite the man in the throne who laughs. And he says, you failed last time. What makes you think you can do it this time, Emmerich?
Yeah, that will
And you stand there and you are in a brilliant black armor. You feel stronger than you've ever felt before. In your hand, your great axe, not a sword.
Yeah, and he'll look and he'll say, because this time I'm not alone.
And the sky cracks with lightning, and it cascades down this spire and into the earth. Mornian, the room is filling up, and you become aware of it. You can see the three gathered around the sword. You can see the exit that Deirdre is trying to guide everyone towards. As water pours out of this room, earth pours in, and the skulls pile up, and you catch out of the glint of your eye in one of those eerie sockets a purple flash of ultraviolet.
Okay. I go over to that one. Is it pointed at anyone in particular, or is it just there?
The skull is laying on its side, and suddenly it turns and both eyes illuminate bright ultraviolet, the same color you had seen in Riasma's eyes right before her head had exploded.
Oh dear. I try and get away from that skull as soon as possible.
Okay, which direction are you going in?
I'm probably going to go towards the exit, but I'm going to turn around, and do you know the mound that the sword seems to be attached to? I'm going to basically try and use another spell called Poltergeist to begin trying ripping away so one of them can just grab and yank. So I'm not touching it with my flesh. I'm trying to use the arcane to lift the sword so they can move.
Okay. Roll that check.
Okay, that's
Your spell casting one.
Yeah, that's...
And Emmerich, the spire shifts, and you see yourself back in that castle when you had last seen this man. Only right now, he is not the Darkmaster. He was a friend then. Albeit an ambitious one. A dangerous one. And your armor isn't the Great Black Champion's armor. Just your everyday armor. Could you do it again?
I could.
And in his hand, his black barbed sword, and he tightens his grip, adjusting. You can try. And there's a clash as he swings out that sword as he did before, and you swing out your axe and the two meet. Dan, Francis stands opposite the Darkmaster at the top of the spire. That searing pain is now ripping through your arms, up your elbows to your shoulders, this white hot heat. It doesn't burn your flesh, you can't see it on the exterior, but you can feel it within. You are the champion, and there is the Darkmaster. And he is laughing. What do you do?
The only thing a hero would do, he would charge the great evil to slay him.
You charge. Make a swing for me with your regular sword, if you could.
Cookie.
And Allison, how did you do on your roll?
79, so I succeeded.
Success. You conjure your poltergeist, and it travels through this skeletal catacomb, and it moves up the side of the mound to the sword. And as it reaches out and touches it, the arm of your poltergeist disintegrates.
Okay. If that's the case, it's just going to be trying to pick away at the bones around it rather than actually touch the sword itself.
Okay, and you hurry and you scramble.
Mm-hmm.
And Deirdre, you are very aware that time is rapidly running out as more and more earth is cascading down into this room as the skulls rise up and up like a flood. What do you do?
Panic. I don't think she has anything. Let me just scroll to the spells real quick. Sorry. I legit don't know if she, because I can only cast the first stuff, like for spells, right?
Correct, because you are level 1. You can only do.
Yeah.
You can only weave at level 1, I think.
Are both the boys frozen on the sword now?
They are indeed.
Yeah. She's just gonna try and do something because they seem frozen in fear, so we'll do a concentration thing, I guess, and then chant of courage.
Okay.
Same thing as
you
before.
begin chanting and concentrating as hard as you can, trying to free them from whatever is going on with this sword, because you are all about to die in this room. Hollow.
You want me to roll the spell?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Emmerich stands and fights with his friend. What did you call your friend then? What was his name?
His name was Arthur.
Okay. You stand and fight with Arthur. His armor, in comparison, is lighter in heraldry. And then you see it. That glint in his eyes. He'd always had strange eyes. But now they glow with ultraviolet. And as your sword and his sword and your axe meet again, you feel your blade snap, sundered by his weapon. And he pushes you down to the ground. And as he walks towards you, you are back atop that spire, and you can feel the wind swell and gravity pull. You are half off the top, and the Dark Lord marches towards you. And you look across and you see the shadowy figure of Francis engaged in battle with another Dark Master. He is fighting. He is furious. And for a moment you think he might win, when suddenly the Master steps to the side, and there stands Francis at the edge of this spire, 1 foot raised, his balance nearly lost. And shakes. Sorry, 1 second. Shakes. What are you doing in the room? Earth, skulls, water, death, badness.
Beldam kind of looks at Francis, who is frozen and holding the sword, and looks at Endrick, who is frozen and holding the sword. And for a moment, there's like a leaning towards Francis, but she's very aware of who's useful and who's not. And she's kind of like, it's a big sword. This is going really badly. So she kind of puts her hands around the fur that she's wrapped around the sword, and will try and basically walk her feet up Endrick's shins and try and push him away from it with all of her 4 feet of height, like a circus performer.
So this is gonna be a brawl roll, I guess.
Oh,
probably the most reasonable. And Hollow, what were you gonna say? Is you're in this moment at the top of the spire?
Yeah. So I think Emmerich, sort of where he is now, would look over to, the hero, quote unquote, fighting on the edge, almost going down. And I think as he looks at him, he will just kind of go, "It's not me who'll defeat you, old friend." And he'll run towards the one fighting the hero over there, and he will push him off with his axe at his own detriment, almost pushing himself to the very edge to get in the way of them and the hero.
Okay. So you roll over, you find your feet, you scurry to interpose yourself, and it's treacherous and the wind is harsh and it threatens to pull you off your feet. You grab onto Francis to keep him from tumbling through the dark, when suddenly you're back in the room and it's filled with mud and skulls, and Francis still stands there as Mornian is attempting to excavate out this sword to free him. You see a frantically casting and chanting form of Deirdre as she is trying to give you all strength, and that was a strength you had felt. You'd felt it atop the spire. What do you do?
He kind of looks around. "I can't let him stay in there," he says, and goes to grab it again.
Okay, if you would like to stop him from grabbing it, I'll make an opposed roll. Both of you roll dexterity based.
To be fair,
please.
she probably fell on the ground when he stepped already because she was like pressure pushed between them, so she's probably on the ground waving. She's not like physically trying to stop him because she's tiny.
Okay.
She's waving like, "I just got you out." She's taking credit for that.
That's completely fair. That makes sense.
I think if Deirdre sees Emmerich reaching for the sword, she will literally just scream in a voice you've never heard her use, "Don't you touch that sword again!"
And not one for being told off. I think he will, but he will aim to grab and just boot the hero in the chest
Okay.
at the same time.
So, this is what happens. Mornian, is there anything you would like to contribute to the scene? Because you are right there excavating, and the poltergeist is excavating with its one good arm.
All right, I'll tell my poltergeist to slap Francis across the face to try and come on, get up. It can do 2 kilograms worth of force, so
That's a lot of force. All right.
What is Francis abuse? What? Do you just not like me or
Trying to
something?
save your life, friend.
Hey, I was pushing him in the
So,
chest.
the force of the poltergeist, Emmerich's boot collide into Francis simultaneously, and there's enough force to topple him away. And the sword, as Emmerich's hand stretches out to grab it, tumbles from your reach as well, and you are all free of the binding of the sword, and the room is filling up to the point where now if you reach up you can touch that ceiling. It's probably only a 6-foot clearance now. It's closing in, and you have a way to go to get to the exit.
So, is the sword still in reach to pick up for the hero later?
It is classified
enchantment
away,
seemingly
opposite way
done?
to the exit, so you have a choice to make.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah, he'll look at the rest, he'll look at them, and he'll see their disappointment, but disappointment is something he's very used to in his life. And he will... he'll look over at Mornine as well, finally, and then look to the hero and just go, "I'll throw it over. Get going. I can hold my breath remarkably long," he says, and will go for the sword and basically sprint for that and try and throw it over towards the rest safely. And
in this moment, we will end today's session as Emmerich charges for the sword, and you all feel the pressure of the ceiling and the skulls and the presence of the Darkmaster.
Oh my god.
Thanks, friends. We will be back next week on Monday the 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern until 6 p.m. I apologize for some of the slower parts while we were checking the rules. We're going to brush up a little bit more in the time between. But now that we've had a go, I think we've got an impression for how the system goes. I'd like to go around, check in with everyone, let us know where we can find you on the internet. And coming up almost immediately after will be Ravnica Under Fire. So stay tuned. Angie, how did you find Against the Darkmaster today?
I am in love with the entire aesthetic and everything about it. this was like those epic adventures that I don't know if we get with other systems. It's just, it feels very driving, I want to say. But that's also probably because you're a fantastic GM. So, just saying. But I'm Banjalert pretty much everywhere, so if you look for this name here, yep, right there, then you will find me basically on every social media, whatever thing. So feel free to stop by. I do streams almost every Saturday for Final Fantasy IX. Otherwise, I do random art streams and that kind of thing. Or you'll find me on Hollowtail, usually on Mondays, where we play a game. So that's me.
Yes. Awesome. And Allison, how are you doing, friend? What did you think of Against the Darkmaster today?
It's a lot. It's a lot of math. I'm glad I keep up with my brain training. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I think definitely the theme and the setting that you've created is definitely a good one, and that definitely called to I think everyone here. And the just utter hopelessness. Oh, such a good feeling when you actually feel challenged by a game that sometimes you might not get that with other systems. So yeah, fantastic job, everyone. And yeah, it's been really fun. I myself, Humble6 on Twitter. I'm going through uni at the minute, so I'm stressed out. So this is kind of like my safe space, relaxation zone. Even when we're drowning and heads are exploding everywhere, I'm like, this is great. This is what I need. So thank you very much.
And Hollow! Hi, friend.
Hey,
how did you find it?
It's me, Hollow. Yeah, I found it really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed playing my edgy as all hell Black Knight character. That was very fun. I'm enjoying sort of redeeming them in small acts along the way and throwing in the edge when I can. And the system is very fun. I like that it lets us kind of just play these kind of characters. And I like that it's got a very simple premise of there's a Dark Lord, you got to deal with them. And that's sometimes what you need. And I'm loving, you were a brilliant DM today. Not DM for you other than the other game that I've been in, and this was amazing. So thank you very much for running, Charlie. You've been great as always. So, yeah.
Well, next week will be only more challenging as I understand the rules better and can use them against you all. I mean, against the Darkmaster.
Yay.
The dreaded
Shake.
study.
Hi, I'm Shakespeare, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Shakespeare. It's always the same handle. I play in a bunch of other games, and you can find that on my Twitter, including one straight after this from Welcome to the Party RPG, which is also in Ravnica. We're beat cops, and I play a robot. It's fun. This game is amazing. I really, really love being able to fulfill my lifelong dream of being the annoying character from the Black Cauldron. This is great. All the shin kicking. I'm sad we haven't got to the food stealing yet, but I'm sure it could happen. I love this setting. I love the campy adventureness of it, much as well as the stress, because that was so creepy. Like, fair folk are like one of my deep, like, psychological, like, oh, okay, this is bad. This is very bad. Just deal with them. Don't fight them. Deal with them. I also love Edgelord, and if he dies, I'll be very sad because only I'm allowed to kill him now. That's a rule. You're now my favorite enemy. Deal with it. So this is amazing, Charlie. As always, you have been fantastic. The creepy voice will haunt my dreams. Can't wait for next Monday.
And someone I can never not look forward to playing with, Dan Vanguard. F91 Vanguard. I always want to do it the other way around. How was today for you, and where can we find you and all of that good stuff?
Today's system was new, very new. So obviously we took it to get used to it. But other than that, it's been a blast. It's been fun to play with and deal with so far. The system itself feels like you've got the ever-present Darkmaster always looming over your shoulder no matter what you're coming against. Like even the teeth that we're dealing with felt like it was him. So it's fun to have something pressing you forward and having his ever-looming presence around you.
Oh my god, I want to be introduced as Charlie, her ever-looming presence now. I like this as like a little name. I like it.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter at F91 Vanguard, where I will be posting some weight progress on my weight loss and getting back to streaming, thankfully, finally.
Awesome. Now, everyone in chat, I see you all. Please do go and check out this Kickstarter. I think this is a really cool start. The thing about Kickstarters is they go in and they've obviously got things kind of into development, but part of the Kickstarter is going to be developing it even more. And I am so excited to see what more they come up with. Support it. I'm going to go and support it because I think this is a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool little things, and I actually quite like how combat is built so that everything is meant to kind of happen in the same moment. It's not, I'm going to wait and see what Dan does before I decide what I do. It's, we're in the middle of a fight. I've got to do something to help my friends. So that was really fun and cool for me. I'm going to brush up on the rules for next time, but I had a lot of fun leading this group through my Fern Gully, Black Cauldron, Lord of the Rings, hellscape. I always love blowing up people's heads, so I was excited that I got to do that with Riazra tonight. And so without any further ado, come back next week, 3 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Give us a like. Let us know what you think of the system if you've checked it out yet. There will be links in the down bar if you want to come and check out the Kickstarter. It's running, I think, for 9 more days. So get in there, get it backed, get it supported. Coming up next, Ravnica. So, until then, try not to roll too many nat ones because we want to be there laughing when you do, for we are the Darkmaster. Good night.